Okay, we're back. I was chatting with Lauren, and hopefully we can make it work and she can join us for our live. So we were just having like little technical difficulties with trying to figure that out. But I'm hoping that she can figure it out. And we'll get her back here and on our live. Oh, yay. I see that you sent us a request. So I'm going to view the request. And okay, so already we're making some progress from where we were before. So thank you for being patient with us. And there you are.
Hello!
Hi.
Finally made it.
I'm so glad we got it to work.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
I
I
don't know
think
either.
the whole app just needed to be like reloaded, restarted, updated, the whole
Welcome
thing.
to Instagram. It's always that way.
Tech
But I'm
issues.
so glad you're here now, Lauren. So welcome to our Member Spotlight series. I'm super happy to talk to you, and it's great to see you. And congratulations on your brand new venture, Maydel, which is just beautiful. And I want people to go and check it out and to learn all about it. And that's why you're here. So tell us about, I mean, first of all, if you love embroidery floss, embroidery, cross stitch, anything that uses embroidery floss, this site is for you. And so tell us a little bit about sort of the journey, because it's not like a straight and narrow, that got you to creating a very user-friendly, very visually and aesthetically beautiful website dedicated to e-commerce for embroidery floss. So how did this happen?
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to do this. I'm super excited to be here. Um, yeah, the journey started many, many years ago, back when we first met, when I was also doing soft toys. And
That's
I was
right.
actually on one of the very earliest While She Naps podcasts,
Yes.
outsourcing and manufacturing and that sort of thing. And the reason we were talking about that was because as a soft toy designer, I felt like I couldn't make a sustainable living doing my craft by hand all by myself. I mean, I'm only one person, I wasn't super scalable. So I tried all kinds of things. In addition to outsourcing, I tried putting together kits. I tried doing soft sculpture design for clients. Um, but I found that I was never really able to spend a lot of time creating. If you're working for clients, you're bringing somebody else's vision to life. Um, if you have your work manufactured or you're doing kits, you spend all this time on operations and sales and like not a lot of time actually doing the creative part of the work, which was what I liked best. Um, and then the Great Recession happened, and I mostly stopped crafting professionally and went to work as a designer in technology startups. I was living in San Francisco at the time, and being on the computer all day, I really wanted to get back to craft, at least as a hobby. And so while I had this, idea in the back of my head, like there's got to be a way to help crafters make a more sustainable living, especially if you do three-dimensional stuff. Because if you do things that are two-dimensional, you can do licensing, you can do prints. There are some other avenues, but if you make really three-dimensional stuff, it's much harder to scale. So I bought myself a cross stitch pattern. It was this cute little pattern. I was going to put it up in my daughter's room, downloaded it as a PDF, and the materials list called for 30 colors of floss and like a specific type of, Aida cloth and specific size of needles and hoops. And I was like, okay, this is going to be great. I'm going to go out to the craft store. I'm going to pick out all of my colors, and it's going to be so fun. And of course, the only craft store near me was a Michael's and then a Joann's. And so I went to the Michael's, and like they had maybe half of what I needed, and everything was a mess. And like some of the floss was faded, and it was the horrible fluorescent lighting. So then I was like, okay, I got in my car. I went to Joann. They had like maybe 20 more percent of the supplies I needed. Started getting really frustrated, so went online and started searching for things, but like on every site, you know, DMC, even if you're just looking at the solid colors, it comes in 500 varieties. So you have to either like scroll through endless lists, or it's like page after page after page loading, 25 products at a time. All in all, it took me 6 weeks to get everything I needed for this one project. And the last color of floss, I will remember it forever, was DMC 917. I had to get it in a pack of 12 from the UK with like international shipping. So like my budget was way over. I was so mad I didn't even want to do the project anymore. And I was thinking to myself, like, why didn't the designer for this project also offer it as a kit? Because clearly this would make it easier for customers, but it would also enable her to make more money off of the same project. But then I remembered back to my soft toy days when I was putting together kits for those and how miserable that was, like all the production. And as one person, you
It's
can't
so
buy
much
a
work.
scale
Yeah.
to like make the margins worth it. So you're also not making any money and you're just this like little sweatshop. And I thought, gee, wouldn't it be nice if there was a company that like put together the supplies for projects and also helped artists like make more money? And then I was like, there should be a company like that. Maybe I will work on that. Um, so that's what I've been doing for the past year. I started the company just as the pandemic hit, so that was really great timing. And the very first thing I did was work on a way to buy embroidery floss because that is the most miserable user experience for purchasing a craft supply, I think, on the whole internet.
It really is. And I recently had to buy my daughter black embroidery floss, just black. And it was really hard to do. I was on Amazon, Fat Quarter Shop. I was on like 5 different sites, and it all has to come in multi-packs in order for you to qualify for free shipping, because you can't buy one skein. Like that's like, 50 cents or whatever. I mean, it's not right. And it's like, this is just black, like just the most simple. It was really hard. It was really hard to figure out how to just buy the most simple black floss. So imagine trying to buy enough to make a project that requires 12 colors. Is I'm sure people listening have done this and can sympathize with your experience. So okay, so
Yeah.
how did you create something different from what was existing? Like, why is this different?
Well, the way that I put it together, so it turned out that being forced to work in technology companies as a designer for almost a decade was really great, because it gave me all kinds of experience and knowledge about how to do user experience design in a way that is friendly to regular humans with real lives. Um, so the first thing I did was design a quick shop module. So when you go to Maydel.com, it's basically the first thing on the page. And it's structured so that anything you could search for about a particular product, so DMC, cotton, floss, embroidery, magenta, 917, all of those things are inside the description for every product. So you can type in literally anything that you know about this product, and as you type, all of the products that match that will come up. So if, for example, you have a pattern that has 12 colors in it, you can just type in DMC 319 and it pops right up as you're typing. Like you don't have to even hit search and then go search, sift through search results and click on a product page and add it to cart. As soon as you find it, you can click on it or type return and it adds it right to your cart, which appears directly below that search bar. So you can see all of your supplies fill in one at a time as you find them in this module. And it's all in this one little section. You can do it on your phone. It's super, super fast. And it applies, right now I'm only selling the embroidery floss, but come April, I will have all the embroidery supplies in addition to patterns and full bundles of supplies that go with those patterns.
Okay.
And all of that is covered by the Quick Shop. So if you don't have any time, if you're like me and it's a pandemic and you have children and they're like homeschooling and everything's a mess, you could get in and out everything you need in like under 2-3 minutes.
Right. And so how did you start sourcing all of this? Because that's the next question, right? It's like you had awesome experience in user experience design because of your tech background and those years spent doing that. But then once you've set up this, you actually have to source all of these supplies and have them on hand so that when somebody goes and orders a rando, situation here and puts together the kit that they need, you have everything. And so did you just start making phone calls like, hey, I need like every DMC color on earth? Or like, how did you figure this
out? Well, it was super important to me that everything that I carry at Maydel is ethically produced. So I'm trying to make sure that, everything I sell is made with an eye toward human health and safety, animal welfare, sustainability for the planet as a whole, following, fair labor rules. And so it takes actually quite a bit of work to source products like that. There are a number of international certifications that you can look for. There's GOTS for textiles, there's Ecotex for dyes, FSC for paper and wood, ZQ for wool. And you can find those certifications by looking at other companies that sort of have the same values you're going for. So like if you were looking for ethically farmed and produced wool, like you could look at Allbirds, that shoe company that, is like super eco-friendly and makes everything out of wool. And then you can see like which certifications their products have and then use those to find suppliers who produce those. You can't, unfortunately, just take someone's word for it when they call themselves like eco-friendly or sustainable or whatever. I definitely uncovered some greenwashing.
Yeah, I bet.
While sourcing suppliers. You can Google the name of a supplier and see if they have any like citations for good behavior or violations of regulations. I find it's really helpful to see if a company does things like offer tours or videos or photos inside their facilities. That indicates a certain level of transparency and pride that they're doing things correctly. Whereas if you reach out to a company by phone or by email and they're very evasive and they don't answer your questions honestly, that's a big red flag for me. Like when I talk to DMC, I email them all the time. I'm sure they're super annoyed. And I asked them recently, for one of your lines, this Coloris line, they have these lovely paper labels on them. But the regular floss still has plastic, even though it used to come with paper back in the day. And so I emailed them, I noticed that your newest line has paper labels. Are you planning to go back to paper for any of these other things? And they very cheerfully told me like, no, we have no plans to go back to paper. But they were totally upfront and honest about it, which makes me feel better when I ask other questions that, I'm getting a legitimate response. There are plenty of places that will not want to tell you what the name of their actual like source or farm is.
Sure.
But usually they need to, at the very least, legally give you the country of origin. And then you can look up laws for that particular country around animal welfare, labor, sustainability, et cetera. Like Germany has a super strict packaging law. New Zealand does not allow mulesing on sheep farms. So like those are things that you can use as sort of proxies too. And yeah, I would say just, don't be afraid to sort of let your fingers do the walking and keep following leads and paths. one of the brands of needles that I'm super excited to be carrying is produced in India, and they have fabulous environmental and labor certifications. And they make all kinds of needles that make needlework more accessible for more people. They make ones that are coated in color, so for people with metal allergies or light sensitivity, um, they don't end up having to like see the glare or have contact with the metal. There are ones that thread from the side instead of, through the middle. And these particular needles, nobody in the US sells them.
Oh,
There's
that's
no
awesome.
US distributor for them. I mean, it was a lot of effort to get my hands on
Yeah.
these things.
Oh, that's going to be great.
But yeah, then you have a competitive advantage, right? Because you're the only place that has these fantastic needles.
Yeah, that's super
Um,
cool. And talk a little bit, because I know that accessibility, in addition to environmental friendliness, is accessibility is also one of your business values. Talk a little bit about sort of what that means for Maydel, and how you're making your products and your site accessible to people, to all kinds of people, I guess.
yeah, inclusion is really huge for me. Um, and I think the biggest thing I learned over this past year in business is that, inclusion and accessibility are spectrums and journeys. They're not firm definitions of one thing or another. There's no such thing as like this website or this product is accessible or not accessible. Everything is accessible to some portion of people and inaccessible to another portion of people. So it really helped me get over the feeling of overwhelm that I felt when trying to make products and my website more accessible, by feeling like there was a perfect destination to that. Whereas now I focus on making continual improvements and just opening the door to more and more people as I can go along. So one thing I do is, in addition to trying to source products that make the actual craft accessible to more people, like those needles, um, in working with artists on patterns for launch, I review everyone's patterns to see, are there improvements we could make that would make this easier for more people to use? Can we make the text larger? Do you have a chart that uses symbols in addition to just colors? And is it big enough that people can actually see the individual squares? It can also be as simple as, if you're talking about a printed pattern for embroidery, for example, does it come both in the reverse and the forward facing side, depending on how people like to transfer that pattern? Does it come in both European and American paper sizes, so it's easy for people to print? And then the website itself, are links underlined in bold in addition to just a different color? When I'm working with my husband to develop the site, I go through and make sure, can I do every process on this site just with my keyboard instead of having to use a mouse? So it's things like that that I keep learning about and keep adding. And to anyone who is also trying to make their business more accessible, like, every little step in the right direction is great. It doesn't have to be a huge project. It can be one little improvement that you make, each week or each month, that lets a few more people in the door, which
That's
is, not just the right thing to do, but like really good business sense. Wouldn't you want as many customers who are interested in what you do to be able to come in and join you?
Absolutely. And that's a really great attitude. And there's always new things to learn, and always new ways to make things more open and accessible. And I love the idea of not feeling like overwhelmed by that task, and also not feeling like there's an end destination. Like, we're now done. There's always new ways to fix it, to make it better, to improve it, to make it more welcoming. So those are really, really smart tips. Thank you for sharing them. That's amazing for me too.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, even just within needlecraft, that spans so many traditions and countries and styles and backgrounds, um, that I think it's also really not just valuable, but enjoyable to seek those out, and sort of incorporate them into the business and into the community. I mean, that's another way to make things feel accessible and inclusive. I mean, representation matters. We know that.
Yes.
So, when I reached out to artists for my launch collection, I reached out to people from all over the world. They span ages from 20s to 60s. They come from all different backgrounds. They do all different kinds and styles of needlework. And it's super exciting and interesting for me. And I am really looking forward to introducing them all to each other and seeing what they, learn and find out, amongst themselves too. So, yeah.
Very cool. Wonderful. You've got a great vision, and I'm super excited for what's to come. This is a
Thank you.
really, yeah, really neat business. And I think because of your unique background as a crafter and as somebody who's dealt very viscerally with the frustrations leading up to this moment, you truly understand what we need and have like the right vision to bring this to fruition. So
Thank you.
that's great. Yeah, yeah.
I should probably mention, since you said that, um, starting in mid-April, once the store launches with all of the actual needlework supplies, the ability to put together bundles of supplies for your own projects will be open to any artist who does needlework. So if there is anyone listening right now or to the recording later who would like to be able to offer supplies for their projects
Oh,
to their
yeah.
customers without having to like build or store or sell their own kits, um, you can visit the Maydel.com website, and there's a page for professionals specifically that lays out all the information about that. And of course, all of the artists get part of the sales of all of those supplies for their own projects. So yeah, that was another way I wanted to be inclusive, is of the professional craft community too, to let anyone take part in this program to increase their income, add a revenue stream without having to do any more work.
Yeah. So you could buy a PDF pattern on Etsy and then get the kit fulfilled through Maydel, and then boom, you're all set.
Exactly. It just produces a link that you can stick anywhere that you make instructional materials. So you could put it in a pattern PDF, a YouTube video, a blog post, whatever. As soon as somebody clicks on it, it takes them to a shopping cart on Maydel that has all the supplies individually listed. So people can, customize or delete anything that they want to change.
Right, because they already have a color or whatever it might be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's super cool. So that's
and
coming,
then,
you said, this spring.
yes, that will be open second week of April. And a few weeks before that, I will be, so like in a couple weeks from now, I will be sending out the link to the form for people to fill in if they want to be part of that. And it's totally self-serve. And I don't care how many patterns or projects anyone sells in a given year. You could have an audience of 5 or 500,000. It literally makes no difference because everything just gets pulled from my regular inventory. So it's truly open to anyone at any stage.
That is a
their business.
Super valuable service. So all you designers out there who make cross stitch patterns or embroidery patterns, or even like I'm thinking felt ornaments that are embellished with embroidery flaws. There's lots of things like that, where, or even like a quilt pattern that incorporates embroidery. There's just lots of ways that we all use embroidery floss in various types of projects, where you need to put together a kit that's going to include, embroidery floss as part of that, or other embroidery materials as part of that. You can gather them up on the Maydel website and then insert a link into your pattern, and Lauren will fulfill all of that for your customer, and you will get, it sounds like you're going to get like a chunk of that as well, like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's going to be, that's win-win for everybody. This is a huge service to the craft business community too.
I'm all about the win-wins.
Yeah, no, that's super great. And as we started this interview talking about saving people such massive headaches, trying to find all of these materials, which is really frustrating at the big box store, whether you're online big box store or in-person big box store, where they definitely don't have all of these colors, and they're also like shop worn and scattered everywhere and just impossible to find. So, or you have to order a pack of 12 to get one skein or whatever it is. So this is going to be great. It's already great, but it's going to even be greater. So this is wonderful, Lauren. Congratulations to you. I love the values. I love the product, and I'm very excited about it. So everyone should go to maydel.com. It's Maydel.
Yes.
.com if you want to check it out. And is that the same social media handle? I think it is. The social media.
The social media handle is Maydelcraft.
Maydelcraft.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Head over there, hit the like button, subscribe to the newsletter. That way you'll be updated when all of this launches, and you can stay up to date with everything Lauren is doing. Thank you so much to everybody who joined us today.
Thank you.
See you next Wednesday for our next member spotlight. And Lauren, thanks for being a member of Craft Industry Alliance. We love having you.
Thank you. I love being a part of the group, and this was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Take care.